All right, happy Saturday night, everybody. Welcome on into the Hat Creek Interior Studios. Yes, it can be a happy Saturday night. Just because the game stunk doesn't mean the day has to be bad. In fact, it can still be a great day for you. We think it's a great day because you're here with us on Raiderland Rewind, brought to you and presented by Live Life Well Clinic in Lubbock, headed up by a great Red Raider and Dr. John Skelton. The best way to be healthy in 2026 is to start getting healthy in 2025. Check out their Facebook page or their website, Live Life Well Clinic. They're taking great approaches to your total health, everything, mind, body, spirit, you name it. Live Life Well Clinic. We're so pleased to have them working with us in Raiderland. We have much to talk about. We kind of, by halftime, we figured out, one way or the other, we're going to have a lot to talk about in this game with Texas Tech and Arizona State. The Sun Devils knocked the Red Raiders out of the ranks of the unbeaten, 26-22. It was an improbable comeback, and then it was an improbable comeback, and then it was Buzzard Puke offense and everything else. So jump in tonight on the United Supermarkets chat line, whether you're on YouTube, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, our Facebook page, again, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Everything's free in Raiderland. Or if you're on Twitter X, we want to hear from you at Ryan Hyatt Media on Twitter. Subscribe to all of our channels. We want 1,000 YouTube subscribers by the end of the weekend. So why not? We can do that. Well, let's get this going. I want to get your thought. I'll give you my thoughts, my 30,000-foot appraisal of the situation, and then we'll delve into your questions and comments. We'll go tonight as long as the conversation is good. So invite your friends in, hit share and like on Facebook and YouTube, and share it on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. Let's do this thing in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com. You start your day every day on our main page, on our website. Of course, we got your morning columns with Raiderland Hot Links brought to you by Jackson Brothers Meat Locker in Post, Texas, West Texas Legends. Get some of their awesome jerky. And we're just glad you're with us tonight here on the Rewind. Again, not the outcome you wanted, certainly not the outcome I expected. Could you have told me that Tech could lose this game? Yeah, sure. It's college football. Teams lose all the time. Had you given me this game script, I wouldn't have believed it. Wouldn't have believed it. And going in, I poo-pooed the line. 6.5. So what are they doing? Will Hammond is a much better fit maybe than Baron Morton against an Arizona State defense that couldn't stop the run last week against Utah. This offensive line, it didn't matter, did it? It got started off ugly early, and this is one of those rare games that I, maybe not you, had a bad feeling that first series, and it never got better. So, yeah, the headlines tonight, Buzzard Puke offensive game plan, Mac Leftwich. I have no idea what you wanted to do, how you were trying to do it. Literally game notes, third play of the game. Texas Tech, quarterback keeper, Douglas, 7, flag, Sheridan. Crowd noise really again at Arizona State. Virgil, 3, now it's 4th and 4 and you punt. And I'm like, you just had a guy run for 260 some odd yards and you got a backup quarterback and he doesn't get a carry. Where were the running backs? I thought the game plan made 0 sense. Hey, let's take a backup quarterback. Yeah, we know he can run. But let's put the focal point on him and not get the running backs involved and take the pressure off. Criminal, in my opinion. The defense was stellar. And I know that the history books will say they gave up 26 points. That's what it's going to say. They didn't. They played their tails off. They did everything they could do. And I mean, just bad breaks on fumbles that the ball didn't quite bounce your way. Now, that said, I've come to the conclusion that the weak link of this defense is the secondary. And one of the best plays offensive teams have right now is just chunk it and hope. The old Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to hang it up there and you get the DPI. Busted coverage numerous times, led to chunk plays, bailed out the Arizona State offense that wasn't doing much, but they got the chunk plays. The secondary is the weak link. And going back to the offensive line was putrid today. They didn't reestablish the line of scrimmage. They looked horrible. There's no way to put it other than they looked horrible. and yet you still had a chance to win the freaking game. Joey McGuire on the postgame show talking about how, thought they scored too quick there after the great stop by the defense, the shank putt. Coy Aiken, we talked about it last week. Was it last week? When was it? We said, keep him back there full time. Maybe it was after the Houston game. And then you score the next play after the 2-minute warning. And I disagree with Joey McGuire. And I know you would love to, in the perfect world, run some more clock there. I get that. But, man, you got to score when you can score because, you kind of sucked at that today. It wasn't like you were just drawing up plays all day long saying, all right, we're going to go score. So I disagree on the scored too fast there being the problem. The problem was you'd been so bad all day that your defense just didn't have enough left in the tank at the end of the day to hold off Arizona State. And that's not on the defense. All right? That's on the offense for putting the defense out there for most of the afternoon. That last drive wasn't on the defense. All right, so there's some of my quick thoughts where we are tonight. I want to hear from you. Get on the United Supermarkets chat line. United Supermarkets, they took care of all your game day needs today. They're ready to go for I've got a gnat flying around the Hat Creek Interior studios. We're going to have to talk to Corey Flanagan at Hat Creek Interiors about gnat removal services. Anyhow, United Supermarkets, they got you ready today. They'll get you ready tomorrow for an NFL Sunday. Chiefs got the early game. Chiefs can redeem this, right? Chiefs can make it all better. All right, let's roll through some of your comments here in the Hat Creek Interior Studios on Raiderland Rewind, presented by Live Life Well Clinic in Lubbock, headed up by a great Red Raider and Dr. John Skelton. Law don't go around here. Good effort today. I would say good effort on one side of the ball. Cheer you up. I can cheer you up. It was a beautiful day in West Texas. It'll be a beautiful day tomorrow. Temps will be cooler. Might get some, little rain tonight or whatever. We always like a little rain, a little moisture. Nothing too much that'll string out the cotton, but, a little something. I mean, life's good. And you're 6-1. And you can still make the Big 12 title game. And I don't know if I mentioned it in my overview, but, yeah, now you have no margin for error. Just like last year when you beat Arizona State, they had no margin for error, so they didn't err. You can still get there. This team is still capable of doing it. They can win every game on the schedule. Jeff gets in our YouTube channel. Brian Hyatt's Raiderland on YouTube. Sign up. Hit like, hit share if you're watching on YouTube. Offense, absolute crap, 3.5 quarters. Why does Hammond check to an option on the short side of the field on the goal line? I don't know that was his call, but that was a horrific play call. It shouldn't have been an option, no pun intended. It was even to the short side. Yeah, as you say, on the short side of the field. It was just hideous. But there were numerous plays that were just hideous. But your redshirt freshman backup quarterback shouldn't have the option to check into that. And if he did, that was just dumb. But I'm putting that on Mac Leftwich, that you take that off the table. That can't be a play call there. That just can't be a play call. Mac Leftwich had a horrible, no good, rotten day. None of this offense made sense today. None of it. Joseph, we're trading places with Arizona State from last year. Be in the playoffs yet? Hope you're right. Debbie is disappointed and hopes Utah beats BYU. By the way, this is where you guys got to keep up with all the games and everything that are going on. Keep me updated, whatever, because I'm locked in. I'm focused on you and talking Texas Tech right now. So keep me up to date. Did TCU and Baylor finally end? What was it, like 72-68 after multiple lightning delays there in Fort Worth? Jared, defense gave it all. Can't force defense to play 3.5 hard quarters. Didn't expect them to have anything in the tank for the fourth. I mean, you can, but I mean, that's just the reality, that they were gassed. Just gassed. The time of possession mattered today. What was our TOP? And it may have moderated a little bit, but I don't think so. 37-22. That's hideous. That's outrageous. That's egregious. And that's on Mac Leftwich. Mac, you had a horrible day. No two ways about it. Michael is in on Facebook. The big question now is how do they respond? Luckily, you have an open date next week against Oklahoma State. I looked into it, and I'm proud to announce tonight this is breaking news. And I've been waiting for this opportunity. I will be starting at quarterback for Oklahoma State Saturday against Texas Tech at Jones Stadium. Dream come true for me. Some dreams get delayed until you're in your mid 50s. I've been trying to keep the arm loose, and the knees aren't very good, but I'm excited to be given the opportunity, and I will be the starting quarterback for Oklahoma State. So yeah, you could. I mean, you should be able to beat Oklahoma State with Hammond if you want to stay with me, or if you want to rest Baron Morton and make sure he's 100% healthy and effective. If you can't beat Oklahoma State without Baron Morton, it's probably not going to matter. So you could give him another week off and then get ready for that last stretch run of 4 games that you absolutely have to win. You have to win all these games. Jared, I'd like to know what qualifies as an emergency to get Morton suited up. That would be if both Hammond and Mitch Griffiths were literally knocked out of the game, injured, could not play. That if both of those players physically could not take a snap, Baron Morton would have suited up and played. Fact. Sound like I'm talking to my wife. Robert on Facebook, did tortillas cost them the game? Seriously, as in the distraction all week? No, because they really don't care about that on the football side of it. They truly don't. That's a fan thing and an administration thing, but the players really don't care. They're not invested in it. No. Now, you had a bad offensive game plan. That's what killed you first. You had bad offensive line play. That killed you second. You had some bad luck here and there. That killed you. But it wasn't tortillas. Many have said, some say, kick a field goal on the 4th down, then we could kick a field goal to win the game at the end. I disagree with that. No, I disagree with that. I'm good with how it played out. Storming the field when you're the defending Big 12 champs, weak. Now, I mean, that's just what it's like to beat Texas Tech these days. When you beat Texas Tech, teams storm the field. I remember a few years ago when Kansas beat Texas Tech in Lawrence. I mean, you storm the field. Yeah, you storm the field. That's what you do. I mean, it's okay. So here, the whole field storming thing. Well, we got time. We can have conversations. We can go off on tangents. We used to call it Tangent Radio on the Williams Night Show. By the way, thanks for joining us here in the Hat Creek Interior Studios. If you're just joining, Raiderland Rewind, brought to you by Live Life Well Clinic in Lubbock. Great people. They're ready to help you feel better in 2026, but you get started in 2025, guys. That's how it works and everything else. And all the comments powered and brought to you by United Supermarkets and a 26-22 Tech loss. Getting your comments and everything else. So storming the field. It has nothing to do anymore with a team accomplishment. Any win is good enough now for fans who run out there with their cell phones and take their pictures. And I wish I could give credit to whoever put it on social media a couple of days ago. It's now storming the field is now just one more thing college students check off on a box of going to school. They do it. It doesn't, no rhyme, no reason, no whatever. They just do it. They run out there, and until we taser, more people, cattle prods, they're going to do it. But now it's the look at me generation. It's look at what I'm doing. It means nothing anymore. And I don't know, at some point, will they get bored with it? Maybe if, enough of them fall out of the stands and break an ankle. I don't know. Scott, in baseball, lost their first game earlier at OU, 15-1, giving up 15 in the first. Is that 15-1 or whatever? Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention to that. I even forgot they were having their little scrimmages and whatnot, which I'm glad they get to do. It's really good for them. That's not so good. They gave up 15 in the first. Oh, well. I don't care about baseball until I find out who's on the team in January. Off of YouTube, 99er. Offensive play calling was so bad, I don't think we can win the Big 12. It will be a 3-way tie like 08. And then we'll see who the three-way ties end up being and how it plays out and everything else. You can't worry about it. All you can do is win all your games. If you don't win all your games, nothing. Nothing happens. You know? 7-14 were absolutely pathetic. They gave up so many big plays. One stop, game over. I agree with the offense. James, is Morton most likely back next week? Depends on who you talk to. I get the feeling he can probably play next week. If you got to play him, though, what does that say? That if you don't think you can beat Oklahoma State with Hammond. And I wrote this down, and I'll put this out here right now. Did Hammond get exposed a little bit today? That we all know he can run, and he's still a young quarterback. This might be unfair, but I can't say that the moment was too big, right? Because the moment wasn't too big, even last year at times, a couple of plays. Certainly wasn't too big against Utah, wasn't too big against Kansas and everything. So I don't want to say that he got the big eye, but did you see some limitations? Did some of you see why Baron Morton has been the starting quarterback the entire time, and that some of you have been saying, well, it's got to be Hammond, Hammond's so much better, all these things. Did you maybe see a little bit today of some limitations, particularly with his throwing mechanics, now that we see it a little bit more loose? I don't know, you tell me. I think the guy's going to be a great college quarterback. I think he's incredibly talented. What did you see today? I just got to get to the Big 12 championship. Yeah, that's all it is for Tech now. Big 12 title, game or bust. The cute punt formation was dumb, and it was a lack of effort. Yes, TCU won. I knew TCU won. I'm sorry. I was being funny on that. Ice machine, baby. All you got to do is ice it out from here. Win everything. I have breaking news. If Texas Tech doesn't lose another game, they're the national champions. Gary is on our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Everybody on YouTube, we love you. Invite people in, like it, share it, all that stuff. We want 1,000 subscribers by the end of the weekend. I never will understand why you throw a 5-yard out on 3rd and 7. Tech did that several times, similar today. I agree. 100% I agree with that. You know where the first down, you know where the sticks are, adjust the route. Yeah, but it's a timing thing, man, and everything. And all you got to do is if you complete the pass, it'll just make a move and it'll get the yardage because it's designed to do that. And if you just look at it on the dry erase board when you draw it, the fish are farther out. By the way, somebody on Twitter today, and I didn't have time to respond to it, how do you beat some zone coverage? How do you do that? There are a couple of different ways, but if you want to blow the top off, first thing, it's handy to have a really good speed receiver that Texas Tech just doesn't really have that guy. So then I can pressure you, I can flood a zone, I can force you to make choices, and I can go over the top that way. But at a certain point, whether either you dictate to the defense or they dictate to you, and more play callers, this is anecdotal, more and more play callers to me now are of the mindset of, I'll take what they give us, to the extent so much that they never really try to challenge the D to make a play. Which is funny because that's what some teams have done. And we really saw this in the Houston game. The Houston best pass play was just go deep and hope for a DPI, right? Make them screw up. I don't think at times this Texas Tech offense has made the other team screw up. Of course, how many moments have you had where you needed to do that? Maybe play better competition in the non-conference going forward. I don't know. That's just an idea. The Arizona State defense sped up the game on Hammond. He looked a little behind most of the game. I don't know that they sped it up any more than Utah did or anything else. I just think he was a little slow on some of the progressions, and I thought the offensive line was horrible. I don't think he trusted the offensive line today. Good reason not to. 99, we didn't get the ball in the hands of our playmakers. I'm still besides myself on how bad the offensive game plan was. I agree. Cameron Dickey, 9 touches today. 9 touches. 40 yards, 4.4 on the average, along of 20. Will Hammond had more rush attempts than Cameron Dickey and Jacoby Williams combined, 15 to 12. That's just bad play calling, man. That's just dumb. I don't know of another way to say it. It's dumb. I don't care how if you think Will Hammond is a second coming of Tommy Frazier and Randall Cunningham. You know. All right, so this is a question I'm looking for an answer to. And I was trying in real time to the clock and everything else on the penalty there on the kickoff there with an additional, I think it was 7 seconds or whatever it ended up being, 6 or 7. But I don't know if Tech had an opportunity to decline that or not. I would assume. But there should have been no time runoff. If I don't have the opportunity to decline it, there's no time that should have. None of that made sense right there at the end. And it happened so quick, and there was so much stuff going on. I want a better explanation. If Tech had an opportunity to decline it, and they didn't, as I was telling my wife here in the Raiderland headquarters, that was dumb. That was bad. You know? And maybe it doesn't matter at that point, but you were thrown into the end zone at the end of the game, weren't you? Yeah, I didn't get that at the end on that, and come on, the officials totally botched an offsides call, picked up a flag on a huge play in the first half. That was brutal. Ryan Leftwich clearly didn't trust Hammond to throw the ball down the field early on. I guess. Today's offense brought to you by the ghost of Kitley, the ghost of Yost, the ghost of whatever. It can't be. It can't be Kitley because you weren't throwing the bubble screens. So it'd be more like Yost or I don't know what. That's the deal. I don't know what that was. And I go back to my opening statements that if you told me Arizona State wins, I said, yeah, that's entirely possible. It could happen. But I didn't think it would be because Texas Tech couldn't run the ball effectively with their running backs. That's what boggles my mind. Danny, Arizona State's game plan, defensive game plan, dare Hammond to throw the ball. They didn't have to focus on the passing game, so they were able to shut down the running game. Yeah, but that's what they do all the time, but they don't do it very well. Utah destroyed them on the ground last week. Utah's offensive line shouldn't be any better than Tech's. I think Hammond's better than Dampier. Thought he was. I think he is. And both of your running backs are quality running backs. There is no reason why Texas Tech shouldn't have done to Arizona State's front what they did. And that's what they do all the time. Talking about Arizona State. They play two deep zone. They try to keep everything underneath. They just whipped you today on that front. They just whipped you. Robert says, still pissed how Arizona State blew a game at Mississippi State. That's what you needed today, cowbells. They don't like cowbells. Today, the Bulldogs gacked away a win with a pick while in position to kick the game-winning field goal. Glad you guys are able to watch so much stuff while we're focused on Tech. You can keep me up. What's going on, by the way? Keep me up on the games that are happening right now. The comments, as long as they're coming in and they're good, we will have the conversation tonight here on Raiderland Rewind. Thank you. Live Life Well Clinic in Lubbock. Also, Hat Creek Interiors, hatcreek.us. That's their website. If you're in town, South Slide Road 10101. Their showroom's really cool. Guys, you don't have to own a ranch to, furnish your house and live like you do. They got such amazing stuff. And if you're outside the Texas Tech area, they ship anywhere you are. So get online, go to their Facebook page. We talk about all the time the power of 5. If 5 of our viewers every night go to our clients, go to our sponsors and say, hey, thanks for being a part of Raiderland, that's huge. So tonight, that's what we want you to do. Go to the Facebook page for Live Life Well Clinic. for Hat Creek Interiors and for United Supermarkets. Tell them thanks for sponsoring the Rewind and everything we do in Raiderland. When you do that, report back to me either on our Facebook page or on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. Jeff, we finally found out what we have in the secondary. Can't cover, can't catch. The ball hits him in the chest. Marginally better than last year's secondary. I want to argue that point, and I can't right now because I think the secondary is the weakest link of the defense at this point. And they weren't tested at all in the non-conference because the rush got home so quick that quarterbacks didn't have a chance to throw. But through the conference schedule so far, I think you're seeing that you had massive breakdowns today in coverage. All right, let's go through and see how many times. Busted coverage, 3rd and 8 on the 34. There you go. Levitt gets hit, blew him up. Chunk and hope he gets it to Hamilton. Boom, they're down on your 17. Where are we after that? No, we had a couple more busted coverages that I wrote down. I got so much stuff in here. Wanted the DPI on that. There's another busted coverage. That's still in the first half, I think. We're in the second quarter. I love it when I write down stuff like this. So second quarter, it's 9-7 Arizona State, right? After they get the field goal. And this is right before they have a minute 43. By the way, the Hudson return was dumb. It was before the half, and I just wrote down, I don't get this possession. If you're not doing anything, then you're doing something. You're not doing anything. The possession didn't make any sense. Well, I forgot you were there. I'm sorry. I was notes, different things. Looked like the Arizona State game plan was to play sideline to sideline and not push up field. Yet they did push up field. Doughboy's in the house. Hey, Ryan, good to see you out there, man. One of our old Talk 103.9 FM News Money Sports listeners there with me and Rob Bro back in the day. Kyle is on our YouTube channel. Yes, I'm a little concerned moving forward. Will Hammond be a conference champion caliber quarterback? I think he can be. Absolutely. I think he's got great skills, great talent. He's still young, but a lot of stuff to clean up. The defense played like madmen today. They did. They played their guts out. They were so good. You know, Skylar Gill Howard out, no problem. Just Holmes, no problem. The defense should eat steak tonight. The offense, you get gas station sandwiches, all right? You know, the little ones where you get 2 of the little sandwiches. It's really one sandwich that they cut in half, you know, and that's really what you're getting. They make it look like you're getting 2. That's all you get. Receivers had a few drops, too. I'd have to go back and look at the drop chart on it. Hard to say. Not a lot of opportunities. On YouTube, hate hearing people say that the players must have big heads and just didn't prepare. Somebody today said they were playing like they were entitled. And I'm like, nothing about the effort, certainly of the defense, looked entitled. I thought the game plan sucked, but nothing looked like a team that. Now, when we say wasn't prepared, I can say the game plan was bad. They were prepared. But I agree. I don't think I saw anything. I didn't see the lack of effort. I saw lack of execution. I didn't see the lack of effort. Amen, Jeff. The fish, they're out there. They're farther out there. They're out there. No fish today. Went fishing and no fish. Well, they were just, fishing in like little potholes on the road, hoping there might be something in there. Hammond didn't get exposed. The play calls were not good. He was in bad position from not establishing the run. Same with the design quarterback runs. All right, and that's why I wrote Hammond exposed ? Throwing out there to y'all. I don't think he was necessarily exposed. I think he's not as good a passing quarterback as Baron Morton. I think we can all agree on that. We've known that. Whatever. So to what 99ers saying right there, yes, help the kid out. Run the ball with running back so you can play action and make them respect that. Nobody's going to respect play action if you don't run it. And I don't know, there was a guy I'm old enough to remember a guy running for damn near 300 yards last week. And, I looked and he's healthy and he's in there and it says he got 9 carries. I just don't know anything about football anymore. Stephen, good news. Undefeated pressure's gone. Bad news. Now you got to go undefeated now. Yep. And you do. And I would say to this, what really changes, all right, with the loss today? Because if you'd won, in my opinion, Texas Tech still had to win every game to make sure they were in the Big 12 title game and to have a chance to make the college football playoff. Because I think Tech in particular, I don't care about the 7 ranking or anything else. The Big 12 is not going to get any favors, and Tech will get the least favors of anyone, not because they hate Tech, not because of Cody Campbell, not because of any conspiracy theory, because your strength of schedule was so crappy that you weren't going to get the benefit of the doubt. So at the end of the day, when they get off the plane tonight, tonight when they get back to Lubbock and everything else, they start getting ready for next week. Nothing really changed. And for the fans, I think, it's important to understand that too, that nothing really truly changed today in regards to what you had to do to get where you want to get. You were still going to have to go undefeated, I believe, in order to make sure, the rest of the way, to make sure you're in. Now, obviously, you have to now. Was it Hammond or the play call? I thought the play calling stunk. I thought the game plan was awful. I thought the execution of it was awful. I think Mac Leftwich is a good offensive coordinator, a good young football mind, and I think he just lost his ever-loving mind this week and had way too much time to think about it. They did not. Tech is elite in the front 7, good everywhere else. Yeah, front 7's really elite. The secondary's not elite right now. All right. I think we took the penalty on the kickoff for an opportunity for a run back. I hope that's not the case. You didn't no run back, man. We don't need practice, man. We need gigs. You need time, not run backs. I certainly hope that if that was the reason, please, no. Don't do that. With a 10 to 12 million defensive line and an injury-prone quarterback 1, you'd think the coaches would have a quarterback 2 that's prepared to be adequate. He's won you 2 games. What do you want, Rob? He won you Utah and he won you Kansas. He came into relief, played the entire second half, won games. Will Hammond's not bad. Will Hammond's good. A lot of people want him. A lot of people wanted him. He's probably one of the most highly coveted, sought-after backup quarterbacks among top 20 teams in the country. Game plan sucked. Sam's on a Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. We love our Twitter X people. It's weird. I don't know if they get throttled on the questions coming in or whatever, because we'll have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of viewers on Twitter, and the questions I fear are not always coming through, which is why I always say subscribe to all of our platforms. And if you feel like your question's not coming through or something, we're not seeing it, go to YouTube or go to our Facebook page or whatever, or go to our Twitter feed at Ryan Hyatt Media. Tech squandered so many opportunities. It was so frustrating. Ran a failed play over and over again. It was like Groundhog Day, nightmare version. I can't argue with you. QB2 that is prepared to be adequate. Yeah, okay. Well, we went over that a second ago. If we're going to lose one, it was at a good time in the schedule, says Joseph. Respectable team. I agree. On the road, good team. Some say could be a very good team. I think it actually puts less pressure on us. We're all so sure we'd be undefeated. I don't know. I've never really subscribed to that because I've been around teams that could go undefeated. I've been around teams that wanted to go undefeated, and everything else. I don't know about that whole deal. And we see that sometimes in basketball. Yeah, get that loss out of the way before the NCAA tournament. Take the pressure off. I disagree with that. I like to win games. Defense kept you in it. Defense was trying to save your butt all day long. Oh, Mike Leach, devotee, fat little girlfriend game. Tell me how that was a fat little girlfriend game, because I don't think the players choked it off on you. Yes, defense kept them in it, and the coaches passed up at least 2 field goals, even though the red zone O has been poor. You can't pass up points in a close game. I had no problem with any of the decisions going for touchdowns over field goals over anything else. I had no problem with that today. If you are who you are, I had no problem with that whatsoever. Rhetoric, too much focus on tortillas. I can assure you the team did not focus on tortillas one single bit. Y'all did. We didn't. BYU is handling Utah so far. Good. You need BYU looking great when they roll in here on the what is that, the 8th of November. 7-0, keeping me updated. Don't have to watch all the games live to know the results. Well, look at him. Average secondary, elite front 7. I really like Coach McGuire, but this loss was on the coaches, not Will. He was asked to play, and I'm sure he did his best. He's been there 2 years, and the coaches made him QBT. Oh, yeah, they did. All those things are factual. Why not kick the field early in the third quarter? We needed any momentum at that point. All right, so we go to the third quarter. All right. Early third quarter, the halftime. Get down there. Nate. Try to cart it off. Yeah, that's 16-7. Here's a play call, a punt to 36. You go back in there. You can go back in there and go, okay. I also thought that you needed to make some plays and go score touchdowns. Again, you're not wrong. I'm not right. I think there are games where those moments it's not a coin flip. It's whatever works. If it works, it's great. If it doesn't work, it's whatever. What's in the Yeti? When they pay me money, I'll tell you what's in the Yeti. What's in your Yeti? This won't be Tech's last loss either. Barron has been injured every other game this year, so there's no doubt he'll miss more time. And you won 2 of those games with Will Hammond. You got to run. I choose not to run. Oh, you're talking about Tech. Yeah, you got to run. With the running backs. Hammond looks like a deer in the headlights when he passes, and the David Yost play calling didn't help. He looks sometimes, I don't know, is it deer in the headlights? We use that term. Hurried, loose with the mechanics. He doesn't ever seem to get set for me. That his arm slot is all over the place. And I know part of that is he's running some RPO and he's running some movement and they're rolling pocket and they do some of that stuff. I get that. But a lot of it just looks like he's just not getting, because he's a big, strong dude. He should be able to get set and get that ball up here and rifle it. And I see the ball coming out below the ear hole or even with the ear hole. And he's still young and you can work on that. So I don't want to say deer in the headlights because he was dropping dimes. He made some great passes. That touchdown to Aiken, holy crap. There are very few quarterbacks who can throw that in practice with no coverage. This was going to be the headline for the show tonight. Got whipped up front on offense. The whole Cody Campbell, I will. Cody Campbell needs to sit down with the offensive line this week and say, you didn't. Because as bad as the game plan was, I thought as bad as the decision-making was on that front, the offensive line got abused. I did not expect that against Arizona State. Could absolutely see a loss. I did not expect your offensive line to get abused. Aggressive D. Was that Tenacious D's opening act? Aggressive D. Susceptible to runs on the outside a few times. Yeah, you get that sometimes. You will get penetration by Height and Bailey at different times that they get so deep. And this happens to good defensive ends, good edge guys sometimes. They'll run around you. Or not around you, they'll run underneath you. That happens sometimes. I'm fine with that. You gave up, I think, one run to Brown on the right side that you went, yeah, you got outside on you. Okay. Waited too long to start throwing the ball. The good news, Pat McAfee won't be coming to Lubbock for the BYU game. We need to do a referendum on Pat McAfee and former West Virginia punters. JK, Mac is great. He had a crappy game. I agree. I think Mac's a fine football coach. He's an erudite offensive mind. He's a good coach. He had a crappy game plan. This is what happens. Somebody asked, why do coaches overthink things? Well, they don't sleep nearly enough. They have a poor work-life balance, and they overthink and they think too much, and they do. Really, all last week, somebody should have stuck a. Do I have any? Yeah. Hold on a second. You can do this. All right. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to read this. All right. Somebody should have done this and stuck it on Leftwich's forehead. And all week, he should have walked around with this on his forehead. Okay? That's it. That all week, wherever you go, glad I had some Post-its. By the way, thank you, Jim Kramer. If anyone knows the reference to that, you get it. That was it. You outthought yourself. Weird offensive play calling almost the entire game. 3 plays in, I'm writing down where's Dickey. How many turnovers did we have? 2 turnovers? Was it 2? 1. You had 1 turnover. The goofy nearly catch. I thought it was a catch and a fumble, but they called an interception. Road trip to Kansas State is now a monster game, and they've always been tough for Tech. Yes, it was going to be a monster game before, and now it's the Monster Mash game. Whatever. What is it? No, that's not Halloween. That's the day after Halloween. I guess the fans will throw stuff at our bench next week. Why will they throw stuff at our bench? Why are they going to do that? Awesome Fu Manchu. Thank you. I don't know about that, but it just showed up in the face one day and we can't get rid of it. O-line just looked awful today. Raider92 on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. So glad you media people think you know more than the coaches. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate that. Yeah. I don't know more than the coaches, but I'm also not a cow, and I know what spoiled milk tastes like. So I can look at a game plan and go, that's a bad game plan. And I actually do know a little bit about football, just a little bit. But I'm not going to pretend I know more than the coaches, but more than smart enough to be able to articulate an opinion and look at a game plan in real time and watch it play out and go, it doesn't seem like the best idea. Football is really not that hard. Now, if I were trying to analyze nuclear physics, or physicians doing surgery, then we would have something. It was frustrating that we missed so many opportunities to take the ball. and momentum back. The ball just didn't bounce away. Not sure we ever had momentum. No, you never really had momentum. Even late, the 14 points or whatever it was, 15 points there in a minute 45. It didn't even it felt like a little bit, but even then, it just didn't feel like you had a ton of momentum in that moment. You talk about the ball bouncing your way. You know, the sequence at the goal line where you force the fumble, you can't get the fumble, and then you've stopped them, but now Bailey gets called for roughing the passer, and he did. That was a good call. He absolutely took 2 steps and grabbed him and slammed him to the ground. But just anything that you thought might just turn it around never happened for that team today. Will plays way better under pressure towards the end. I feel like he's too cautious or going through the reads, not going through the reads fast enough, or going through the. I think sometimes he hurries up, maybe triumph of the uncluttered mind when you're under pressure, or coming in as a backup in the middle of the game. Don't know. Hammond's got happy feet, needs to get set and make reads. I agree with the happy feet. And you know who they used to say had really happy feet? A guy named Peyton Manning. That was one of the big knocks on Manning. Man, I don't know if he's going to be able to make it in the NFL. He's just got, happy feet. He got better at it. The Mahomes effect. Jeff makes a great point. Coaches hate Patrick Mahomes because all quarterbacks now think they can do what Mahomes can do. Seriously, talking about mechanics and throwing and doing this and that, making these plays. They hate Patrick Mahomes because now all quarterbacks think they can do it. Maybe not all quarterbacks. I agree. Why did Cameron Dickey only have 9 carries? Bad play calling and a poor game plan. Why did he not? First series, why didn't he get the ball? How long do we have to go till Cameron Dickey got the ball? I don't know. Let's go back. Let's find out. Where are we? There we go. First series, didn't get the ball. Second series, no Dickey. Williams, sack. Another run by the quarterback. Williams, 8. Nice run there. But that only got you to 4th and 4. So no Dickey there. And then you get the 3 and out, the punt. And then the next series, 1st and 10 at your 22. Virgil incomplete. Dickey +3, Dickey +3, and then you punt. So took literally the 3rd series before he gets the ball. That ain't Will Hammond. Randy, you better be glad you aren't taking calls. I was tuning into the Rob Rose show earlier. Callers were cussing like sailors. Will they get fined by the FCC? They could be. I'm shocked they don't have a 7-second delay. We always did when I was doing Raiderland Rewind on radio for years and years and years. And you just knew going into a deal like this with a bunch of drunken sailors and idiots out there that it was going to happen. I cannot believe that they don't have a 7-second delay. So they leave themselves open to a potential fine, depending on what they say. Bless his heart. I've been there. I understand what it's like. It ain't fun. We and a friend of mine hosts the Nebraska post-game call-in show. Imagine, I didn't tune in last night. Imagine that. The big red replay or whatever they call it. I can't remember what it's called, but my man Matt Coatney, he's hosted that for several years. And I'll just, if I know it's going to be a bad show, I'll send him a text, say, hey, I'm with you, brother. It's like, yeah, we may just unplug the whole studio tonight. How many turnovers did the D miss out on? Was it Wisniewski who just couldn't quite get it? He had the fumble down at the goal line that bounced away. There was another fumble. I thought, did he get? I thought there was one more. Yeah, they had 3 fumbles and you didn't get any, and you had at least 1 interception in your hands that you didn't get in. I want to say maybe 1 more. So 3.5 over under. off of our YouTube friends. You got to rely on the run when your backup is struggling. The defense still kept it close. There's that. Yep, defense was great. Holy cow, Shield Wood. Was the Bailey roughing the passer on fourth down really roughing? Yes, it was. He takes additional steps and wraps up and then just takes him to the ground hard. That in 2025 will be called almost every single time. To me, once I saw the replay, was not surprised by it. He's an aggressive guy making an aggressive play. I understand it. I hate that's roughing. But today that's roughing. And you just got to know it. And he took 2 steps. He knew the ball was away. Utah and BYU are now tied. At least 2 for sure. Yeah. Hammond as many carries in the first half as did our running backs try to justify that. How about Hammond having more carries in the total game than your 2 running backs combined? Justify that. We were our own demise. Tech never misses an opportunity to miss. Hang in there with them. We just lost our playoff spot. Not yet. Nothing changes. You had to win every game, in my opinion, if you're Tech, to make the playoffs. And by that I mean you had to win every game to get the Big 12 title and win a Big 12 championship game. That you were going to be the odd man out because of your strength of schedule. So nothing changes now. You got to go win every game to get to the title game and win the Big 12 title game. I truly don't think anything fundamentally changed on that front today. Crime scene offense, some say, Raider 92, messy. Had to win today. I disagree with that. I disagree. I don't think anything fundamentally changed. You needed to win. It would be great to win. But if you'd won, nothing changed. Nothing would have changed, in my opinion. You still had to win every game if you won today. So from that metric, look at it like last year with Arizona State losing at Texas Tech, winning out from there. That's what you got to do. Banning the run game, says Lawrence. Cost Tech the game. Quarterback ISO wasn't there today. No, it just don't run it anymore. They said it was a game plan with Rob. Oh, well, yeah. Nah, they're probably not going to get fined for that. Should have had 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles that we had a chance to get on, yeah. Cincy 21, Oklahoma State near the end of the first half. Randy, I'm not taking anything from PM. Who's PM? Oh, Mahomes. Played basketball and baseball. The one-sport athletes aren't as well-rounded as the kids in high school that play multiple sports. Yeah, breaking news. Please, if you got grandkids or kids, make sure they play multiple sports growing up. The one-sport athletes aren't as well-rounded. We know this. His mechanics playing every sport helped with football. Only players that go to camp and do the 7-on-7. Yeah, I think I know what we're talking about there. I agree with you, by the way. Kids should play sports, multiple sports, get their body well-rounded, get their biomechanics well-rounded, and learn how to compete in different sports. Tech will beat BYU at home by 14. JK says, book it. Abandoning the run cost us the game. Did we read that? Thought we read that. Too much quarterback ISO didn't work. I'm still dumbfounded by the zone read to the short side. 4th possession of the 4th quarter. Kick the field goal. Or just run a better play. Not that. Throw the ball into the end zone. Oh, that'll make some people mad. Typical Tech showed up there. And then I agree. We're still in a good spot. Still a lot of football left. All right. We've cleaned out most of the comments. You guys know what I think. We'll take a few more comments before we get out of here. If you hustle in on the United Supermarkets chat line, that's great. I want you to do a couple of things tonight if you're enjoying the show and enjoy what we do in Raiderland. And we'll be with you in the morning for 5 things we know on a Sunday. Our column will drop tomorrow morning. But we're in the Hat Creek Interior Studios here, hatcreek.us, and they got a great Facebook page. If you like Western-style furniture, they're the best in the country. Not the best in the region, the best in the country. Check it out. Drop them a note. Tell them thanks on Facebook for supporting what we do. Same thing with Live Life Well Clinic and Dr. John Skelton and his great staff. They want you to have the best, healthiest 2026 you can have, but it starts now. We got plenty of time, guys. We can get our gut health better. We can get all sorts of things better in our life if we start in 2025. So drop by their page, see what they do. They're on Facebook. They got a website as well. But if 5 people tonight, just 5 people, go to all of our sponsors and tell them thanks for supporting Raiderland, that's huge for them. That lets them know, and they already know it, but it makes them feel better when you guys do that. All right. And then, of course, United Supermarkets and Market Street. There's a grocery store in town that takes your money and sends it down to Austin and puts it on scoreboards. There's one here in town that gladly supports West Texas from the high schools on up to Texas Tech, as you well know. So if you guys, the Power of Five, can make that happen, we're going to have this on the website here in just a little bit. You can share it from the website, theraiderland.com. But we just appreciate you being out there. The conversation is always fantastic. I say you guys are the best, most erudite audience in sports media, and you prove it every time we get on here, and I appreciate that. Let's see. Jeff, 41 on our YouTube channel right now, live. Yeah, I think we've seen even more than that. But yeah, hit the subscribe button for you, 41, if you're not subscribing. I want 1,000 by the end of the weekend. Jan, she reposted the stream on X. That's awesome. And then Kelly closes us out. Typical Tech wouldn't be in this situation. Still in a good spot. Is that a gnat in there? Huh. It can't be bad. He's still alive. Product placement. You guys are the best. Here's to you. Have a great rest of the weekend. Don't let this game get you down. Don't let it suck the life out of you as a Tech fan. Don't let it take any enjoyment. You're having one of the greatest seasons you've ever had. So enjoy it. There's still a lot of, I think, fun and great football. But don't let the haters bring you down. Don't let them suck the life out of you on all this stuff. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Embrace the grind, all right? Not the gnats, but the grind. Embrace that. We'll see you guys tomorrow in the morning on the website. 5 things we know in a Sunday column. All right. You guys are the best. I got to hit some buttons here. And one more because it makes me feel good. Great show, honest assessment. Remind everyone this is not doom and gloom. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right. You guys are the best. We'll see you in the morning at theraiderland.com.